Right. Hi, my name is Anna Cox. If you don't know me, I'm the coordinator for world languages. My travel partner in crime, I would like to say, is Miss Monique Swinger. Monique,
Hi, everyone. I am also on the line, Monique Swinger, coordinator for elementary social studies.
I believe we also have our EF representative. He's the one who supports us with all of our travels. And that's Joel Beck. Joel, are you here?
I am here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, awesome. Also with us, we have some of our teachers and administrators who have traveled with us before. Miss Ross Wilson may be joining in a minute. She is the principal of Stillwell School of the Arts. Miss Ford is getting ready to take a trip. She's from Lovejoy. You want to say hey?
Hello, everyone. Good night.
Miss Santos is here. She is taking a trip with MD Roberts.
Hey,
And
everybody.
oh, great. Thank you. Miss Wolfinger is here. She has traveled. She's getting ready to travel with Elite, but has traveled with other districts in the past.
Hello, everyone.
And Miss Chastity Coleman is here from Rex Mill. She's got a great program getting ready to travel with Rex Mill.
Hi.
Awesome. So we've got some new teachers who are interested in some travel-based learning opportunities, and we're here tonight to talk to you a little bit about our process with Clayton County Public Schools. As I said, I am recording this meeting, so we'll be able to share it around. People will be able to watch it and get some insight as to what we're doing with our travel-based learning opportunities. We started this a couple of years ago, and it has grown exponentially. So you'll see on the presentation here pictures of beautiful students traveling around the world. Well, guess what? These are our students traveling around the world. The top 5 pictures are from Japan in the summer of 2024, and the bottom pictures are from Spain 2023. So we had a great presentation put together, but I decided we need a little personalization so you could see our beautiful kids and where they've been traveling. Feel free as we go along to drop your questions in the chat as we go, and we'll answer them when we get to the end. And we're just going to kind of get started and share some information. As I said, we're going to make the beginning part of this rather formal for our recording. So we've introduced ourselves. We're going to talk a little bit about why CCPS travels, why we have this experiential learning opportunity. I'm going to get to the nitty and the gritty with the district approval process, which is not difficult at all. So when you see district approval process, don't think, oh no, they'll never approve. No, the beautiful thing about our district is that we support international travel. We've got some of our schools currently traveling and where they're going, and those representatives, and some information with tour portfolios and parent interest meetings. So let's really get your school traveling. So as I said, my name is Anna Cox, and Monique Swinger is my partner in crime with travel. We travel to Spain and Japan, and she is leading a fantastic group to South Africa this summer, which I'm really thrilled about and hearing about when they return. Now, this summer when we went to Japan, we had a unique opportunity, and that was that we had a video team follow us. If you've not seen the video, it's here, and I'm just going to play it for a couple of minutes, but I encourage you to come back to this presentation and take a look at the video to see our students traveling around Japan. So just going to pause it there, and I encourage you to go back and take a look at the video. It's really awesome. You see all of us who traveled this summer with the group getting to move around Japan and all of our experiences. It's not very often you get a high quality video and photo of yourself traveling, so I really found this to be a special opportunity. So talking to you a little bit about traveling, it's something that I absolutely love to do. I love a field trip and I love a field trip or international travel. I did a lot of traveling with students from 2003 until 2010. I had a break to have children and then I started again in 2023. But what I found out is it really helps students to get a new perspective. I love to use the term experiential learning because that's exactly what it is. It is experience, it is learning through experience, and there is no better teacher in life. It helps students to grow in their confidence, their independence, their empathy for other people, and goodness knows we could use a beautiful dose of empathy right now. It expands their knowledge of the world. It helps to increase their cultural awareness. I think one thing that has teachers kind of maybe thinking about it is they're worried that they'll be, looking at their students all the time and they themselves won't have fun. And that's not true. When you travel with your students, it is a whole new perspective for you too. It's a great time. You get to talk with them in different ways and hear about them in different ways and hear about their lives and hear about all of the new things that they're experiencing on a trip. It really allows us to open up the curriculum for them beyond something on a piece of paper. And we really think that our students here in Clayton deserve to travel. So let's talk about the district approval process. First of all, we have a set of international travel guidelines, and we want to make sure that you familiarize yourself with those guidelines. So when you get this presentation, you can click here on this block, and that will take you to those international guidelines. Read through them, familiarize yourself with them. You can download them, whatever you need to do. Then you want to select that trip and itinerary. And you don't have to approve your trip with the Board of Education. You can go ahead and select your trip, select that itinerary, think about where you want to go, where's best for your curriculum, your students, your school, your theme, your magnet, whatever you're thinking about. Go ahead and make that selection. But the first thing you need to do is to communicate with your school or your district administrator. You do not want to plan your trip and your itinerary and have a parent meeting and all that, and then you tell your administrator 3 weeks later. Make sure you tell him or her at the very beginning of the process, hey, I'm planning a trip. I just want to let you know that we're thinking about going on an international tour, and I want you to be in on the process. Then you're going to complete the CCPS application for international travel. So you'll see it right here. You can click on it. It's going to open up a Google form for you. If you prefer a paper copy, you are welcome to that. Just shoot me an email and I'll send it over to you. You'll see that it's got all the information here that we want to collect from you, and then also information about your trip and your itinerary. We will use that to write the executive summary in order to submit your trip to the Board of Education. What I'll do is I'll write up the executive summary and I'll send it to you to edit to make sure it says exactly what you want to say, the way you want to say it. And then you're going to attend the board meeting, usually August or September of the year that you're traveling. And you're there in case they have questions. Generally, they've not had lots of questions, but you're just there as a presence, and we will submit that trip to the Board of Education. But as I said, you can select your trip, your itinerary, hold your parent meetings, do all of the things as long as you communicate with your administrator long before we take that trip to the Board of Education meeting. The policy is that trips have to be approved at least 6 months in advance. And the reality is that you'll do all of your planning, your itinerary, your parent meetings, you'll do a lot of that probably a year and a half to maybe even 2 years in advance. And so that's why we don't take it to the board until that calendar year of when you're traveling. I'm going to pause here. Monique, is there anything I've forgotten about the district approval process?
No, ma'am. I think that is everything.
Awesome. So I want to pause here and let some of our representatives maybe just talk for a minute or so about their process. I told them this morning that I went and stole some pictures off their social media in order to include in the presentation. We'll start with Ms. Ford. Tell us where you're going and maybe a couple of things that you've been thinking about as you're planning your trip for this summer.
All right, good evening, everyone. Yes. So, we are planning on going to France and Spain, specifically Paris, Barcelona, and Madrid. This trip is a summer trip. I will believe it's a good time for students to go because the weather would be nice. And of course, during the process of planning this trip, I want for it to be exciting. So I not only think about, um, okay, they're going and what the tour director is going to do. I'm also doing what I will need to do for them during some interactive time. So maybe I'm going to be having scavenger hunt for them to fill out. Maybe they'll be filling out taking some pictures of some food items or trying some food discovery. So there are things that I'm planning while they are on the trip. But of course, before the trip, there's a lot of planning that goes into the background. But of course, it's not much that I do, it's what EF does. They give us all the planning. We just need to execute that in the school environment. And that's exactly what I did. I ensure I get the approval from my principal or administrator. I ensure that I speak with the parent liaison, get approval to send those emails out to the parents so that the families can get them, know about our meeting times, and talk with them during the tour. Of course, I'll give them the reason why this tour is important for our kids. Because for me, it's very important for being a global citizen. Be aware of what is happening out there in the world. It's a big world, it's beautiful, and there's so many different cultures that is very exciting. So traveling, I believe it's great. And of course, nothing beats getting your school pumped up for the trip. So of course, we have flyers going out in the school. I have a travel team that I've set up to ensure that they're promoting it in their classes, in their meetings, in their clubs. And of course, we have to do the morning announcements. We have to be a part of the morning announcement in order to advertise it and get it out there. So our students will be pumped up for travel. So that is important. And last but not least, we told them not to worry about costs because there's always an option of fundraising that you're able to do once you're signed up for this trip. And we are able to assist. EF is able to assist by giving that link once they signed up to send it out to their family and friends in order to get those the help that they need in order to raise their funds. So we're pumped up, we're ready, we're almost there, 3 months and a half away.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. Ford.
You're
Ms.
welcome.
Coleman is headed off to overseas this summer. Tell us a little bit about the activity that we can see in the bottom left corner of the screen.
Okay, so actually we're traveling in March, guys.
That's right, March.
It's coming up. Tomorrow makes 50 days. We're 50 days away with some middle schoolers. But yes, down to the left, we did a pre-departure meeting back in January. We did a pre-departure meeting. It's our second pre-departure meeting. The first one we did like a walking tour around the school so the families can get accustomed to what a tour will be like. And then with this particular meeting that you see down in the left, we had a chef to come in and do a cooking lesson with them because a lot of the EF tours, they do offer that experience, but our tour kind of switched gears from Barcelona and Paris to Italy and France. And so I was like, okay, cool. We can get a chef in that could potentially teach them a lesson. And this chef happens to be a vendor with Clayton County Public Schools. He has a program called Kids to Chefs. So I was like, okay, instead of him cooking for us, we can save some money by him allowing them to cook the meal. And so you see them doing some meal prep. He taught them how to do an Italian meal with some prosciutto, some pesto, and a nice little fruit dessert dish. And the families enjoyed it. The kids really enjoyed it. And actually, I posted this on social media because I'm using this as a recruitment tool for our travel program. Our principal committed to 3 years with EF, and I'm cool with it because I've been taking EF tours since my kids were in middle school, so I'm okay with EF. Joelle's very helpful. Cray's very helpful. They've helped us through this entire process. And so this is a recruitment strategy for us as well. We posted on social media, the other kids see it and like, how they get to do this? They see them walking around. How do they get to do this? Oh, you got to go on this trip. So yeah.
Awesome.
Pre-departure.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
You're
it.
so welcome.
Miss Wolfinger, I know, has got to run. So tell us briefly a little bit about your tour this summer and or your experience in the past.
I just wanted to add for Ms. Coleman that I went on to a cooking class in Spain over this past summer, and it was a last minute thing that Joel and them threw in because something else wasn't working out, and it was the best experience. And so I really like that there's somebody in Clayton County that could come do it with the kids. So thank you. I like your passion too, about traveling and stuff. So as far as my trip that I have planned this summer, we're going to Paris and London. I've already done this trip before, but this is my first time with a trip, doing a trip with elite scholars. And so I kind of wanted to choose two locations that would get everybody excited and want to travel. And I thought since it was the first trip at this school, that's what I would go with. I think they haven't done other trips, but it was a long time ago. So that's where we're going. And then we have Japan planned in 2026. And I believe both of my trips are completely full at this time. Um, Anna, what else did you say? I'm sorry. What else did you want me to share?
That's it. Just anything you wanted to.
No, yeah. So currently, right now, we are about to start meeting. I have a Canvas page set up. This is something you guys probably already do this, but I have a Canvas page set up with my kids, and this is the first time I have ever done this. I'm going to start having monthly or bi-monthly meetings where the kids come in, and I'm going to start showing them the different places that we're going to go, what to expect, so they can kind of do some learning behind the scenes before we get there. So that's coming up. I'm about to have my first pre-departure meeting with all that information. And I'll just say that Joel and everybody is so wonderful. And it's like you have periods of time where you don't do a lot. And it seems like, well, you're not doing anything. And then you have other periods of time in this process where you seem kind of busy and you're like getting things done. But it's just up and down, but it is so worth it. And I guess my advice is reach out if you have any questions because they are there. Their support is phenomenal. The minute I step on that plane and we're all on board, I know my part is really done and I can almost sit back and relax because the minute that we touch down in whatever country we're going to, EF takes over, the tour director takes over and takes such good care of us. And I plan on staying with EF until I retire. Hopefully after I retire, I'm going to still do some trips. I cannot say enough good things about them. And I'm also willing to help anyone in the county, if they need help. I would just say my advice is to pick your trip, let Joel know what trip you're kind of interested in and let them go from there. And the process is very smooth and it's so 100% worth it. I am a better teacher for this. I'm a better human being for this. And it's just opened up so many opportunities for me. I just went on my first rewards tour over Christmas and I got to take my husband and he had never been out of the country before. And it was just life changing. It was so cool to be able to see the world, him seeing things for the first time that he had never seen before. And will forever be grateful for EF and for Clayton County Schools. I think it's so great that you support this because in my previous district, it really wasn't coming from the county office. It was more us trying to get things going. And you guys are really, Anna, making it easy for us in Clayton County. So I really appreciate it. And thank you, Joel.
Awesome. We try. Miss Santos? You got any extras?
Hey, so I would say, last year we went to London, Paris, Lucerne, and Munich. And this year for spring break, we're going to Italy. Thanksgiving, we're going to Madrid and Andalusia. And then we've got next spring break, we're going to Greece, Athens, and the islands. And the following Thanksgiving, we're going London, Paris, Rome. One thing that I noticed is that while last year we only went to one place, we had a huge group. Having multiple places over multiple years makes your groups a little bit smaller, but you'll get more people overall. I love traveling with EF. I traveled with them in my old school district before I came to Clayton, and was waiting and waiting and waiting for Clayton to finally come back to letting middle schoolers travel internationally. And when they did, I hopped right on it. It's definitely a great experience. Love Joel, love Cray. They were just awesome with anything. We had some experiences. We had an adult and a student lose their passport. But it worked out fine. The adult lost her passport in London, and we ended up having to leave her behind, but she met us in Switzerland. And the student lost his on the train from London to Paris, and we went to the embassy and got it, and it was fine. And EF was there and very supportive and very helpful the whole time. And so not to say that, everything is going to be perfect all the time, because obviously things go wrong. We're humans and things happen, but they're always supportive and making sure that nothing is the end of the world. Nobody died, nobody got left in Europe. And so I think that it's a great experience. One of my favorite quotes is, "The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only a page." It's important to be global citizens, and by interacting with people from other countries and eating the food and just seeing how other people live, other cultures live, it makes us all better global citizens. And so I think that that's really, really important. I'm super happy to help anybody who is interested in getting some more information, but I think that this is definitely something that's very worthwhile. And I really can't say enough about it. So I'm going to stop talking, because otherwise we'll be here all night.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Ms. Ross Wilson, you're up. Give us the administrative perspective. We've already said the most important, which is tell your administrator that you're planning on going for a trip. What else from your administrative perspective?
Good evening, everyone. I echo everything that was said, but I also want to say that EF Tours, and also working with your department as well, makes it so smooth. It's really, we get 1,000 things that we have to do a day. So planning a trip to this magnitude, for making sure parents feel safe about us taking their kids, was just really great partnering, being able to run a school and plan a trip at the same time, because so much of it is taken care of. I will just tell you that I think that we have to provide more opportunities for our students to travel and expose them. We talk about exposure a lot, but I love that we're not only talking the talk, but we're walking the walk as well. I think that everything was planned out to the T. I think the safety and security, which is paramount, which is a big concern for parents, all of those issues are addressed. I love the rooming situations. I think I didn't hear anyone say the bonding that happens. I got to see some students come out of their shell, that were quiet, that did not talk prior to the trip, that just had a great time. I did appreciate that EF Tours tailored it to our school theme. We had an opportunity to do a lot related to the arts with our trip to Paris and London last summer. And we are in the process right now of planning our next trip to Greece and Italy. Greece and Italy, I believe. But I just want to say, from an administrative perspective, that it warms my heart. It makes me super proud that we're able to provide these opportunities for our students that they could possibly would never do if we don't offer them. So I'm super excited. I say thank you to the team, and thank you for introducing us to EF Tours, and bringing this opportunity not only as a district trip, but allowing us to have the individual school trips as well. It is It is fairly easy. I would say it's not stressful. It's more stressful to get a trip in Atlanta planning for a school bus, getting it approved through the district, than getting a trip approved through EF Tours. So I would say go for it and give our students this opportunity.
I want to
That's a
add
pretty
to
fair
what
assessment.
I want to add to what Principal Ross Wilson just said. She mentioned being able to see the student come out of their shells. I also want to add that we do get to see that, but we also see the same thing with our adults. And you know, Ross Wilson is not so much in her shell, but it allows your students to see you in a different light. I just remember our trip to Spain where Principal Ross Wilson was so active with our students, and you know, they're doing little races and just the little things that you don't get to experience with your students when you're in the building being the teacher or the administrator. There, it's also just an opportunity to build a different type of relationship with your students. So that's also great.
I love that. Thank you, Monique. Building the relationship is so important. So just real quickly, these are some of the schools and where they're traveling next. You can take a look at them. We're just excited and thrilled. It's not just our magnet schools, it's all of our schools. It's not just our high schools, it's our middle schools. And it's really not just our middle schools, it's even our elementary schools. So we encourage all students, grades, 4th through 12th grade, to travel, and we encourage you to think about getting that trip together for students. There are lots of different tours you can choose from. For my language teachers on the line, there are language tours, music tours, STEM, agricultural, robotics, culinary, and specific tours for middle school and elementary school. So tours that are comfortable for that age student. So we can help you choose that. Joel can help you choose that. The great thing is we are here to wrap around and support you in whatever way you decide is necessary. Here's a couple of things to think about with parent interest meetings. We really recommend Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Mondays or Fridays, Monday's difficult, and Friday it is time to go home. At this point, we're really looking at in-person meetings for schools. In the district, we're still doing Zoom meetings just because we're pulling kids from all over the district. EF will help you with your emailed invitations. They'll ask parents to RSVP. That is super helpful. The thing that you do as a group leader is to get kids excited. So playing games, talking it up, just getting them excited about international travel. If your children are excited, they're going to take that excitement home to their parents. And then their parents are going to come into that meeting, and you can start to talk about all the great things that they're going to get in an international trip at that point in time. This, I am going to play the full thing. This is a parent testimonial of a parent who traveled with us this summer. And I thought, it's not been published yet. It's still unlisted on YouTube because I think they're finishing up all of the videos and the photos. So take a look at it. I really thought it was great and summed up what a lot of your teachers and our administrator has said to us tonight.
As a parent, I see the growth in my child, and so I know that I did something right when I sent her on this EF trip. I think being on a tour and actually seeing things and realizing this isn't just info from a textbook, this is real life. People live this. Exposure to the culture, it's something that she's going to carry with her for a long time. So that full experiential learning piece is invaluable. There's no price you can put on that.
So that was one of our parents and students who travel with us. Plus, you could see all of our kids from Japan in the background too. Just really
As a parent, I see the growth
awesome
in my child.
Experience for having that video team go with us. Right here is a QR code. You can book and talk to Joel. This is Joel here for a few minutes to get started on your travel tour. Joel, anything that you want to bring into the group right now?
No, this has been amazing. And I mean, Clayton County is not just like the best county that I get to work with. It is the easiest. It is such a streamlined process. And I love when I'm on the phones or on Zooms with teachers and being able to say like, I promise you this is 10 times easier than 20 minutes down the road in another county. And where we get to have this conversation about where you want to go, and then you can truly have a parent meeting 3 weeks later, where some counties it's 4 months later, 6 months later. And it is just such a draining process, where in Clayton County it's certainly not. Everyone has made this an exciting process. We've made it just an easy, seamless way to get kids traveling, and that's how it should be. And so thank you to everyone just that is on the Zoom who leads these tours, and you, Anna and Monique, who make this super, super easy. So this QR code goes straight to my calendar, but I would love to take 15-30 minutes just to talk more in depth about some of the schools that are and their travel programs that are happening down the road from you, and how we can have more schools that aren't currently traveling, giving those students the same opportunities that at this point almost half the district is offering. So yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just going to pause here, and I'm going to pause the recording, but you're welcome to hang on.